I want to start this video out just letting you guys know this story is probably one of the most kind of verified ghost stories I have. I met this person through my channel years ago, and we've actually been friends on Facebook since, and they submitted a story years ago on Urmaker, and there was so much documented history on the haunting of this place that people found her address and were posting it in the comments there. Fortunately, she's moved out now, and you'll hear why it's fortunately after you hear the reasoning behind it. Also, her story has appeared on Dead Files. At the end of the video, I'll tell you which episode. So if you're into true ghost stories, this is exactly what you're looking for. Thank you, Carole. Much love to you and the fam. It's hard to believe that my family and I have lived in our new house for 2 months. It has been so peaceful and quiet here, and we actually feel safe. Home is supposed to represent all of these things, but for the last 4.5 years we lived in a house that was anything but safe and peaceful. It was supposed to be our dream home, a 16.5-acre boarding stable with 30 stalls and huge indoor and outdoor arenas. Our plan was to renovate the house that was more shabby shack than shabby chic, and also fix up the stables and pastures and run a small boarding business. That was the plan. But unfortunately, our dream quickly became a nightmare that in the end threatened our very lives. I always thought of myself as a fairly rational person. It's not that I didn't believe in the paranormal, I just never had any of my own experiences, so let's just say I was cautiously skeptical. I'd watch those ghost hunting shows and wonder why they would stumble around in the dark trying to provoke the spirits to attack them and scream like little girls at every creak and moan. I have to admit it made me roll my eyes just a little. As I found out soon enough, it certainly did not have to be dark out to get attacked or have paranormal experiences. Where to begin? I guess I'll start with my first experience. It was about 2 weeks after we moved into our home. We were in full construction mode. I had gone grocery shopping and set a rotisserie chicken in its plastic container on the kitchen table and was putting away my other groceries. I looked away for a second and it just disappeared. I do have 2 dogs, but they never snatch food from the table and there was never a trace of it ever found, and we looked everywhere in the house and even in the barn. Then personal items like clothing or car keys would go missing, only to be found in places we would never have put them or just never reappearing again. This was maybe frustrating and a bit unnerving, but we tried not to dwell on it. So we opened our boarding business and we quickly filled up, but we were plagued with all sorts of problems, with horses running through the fencing and strange wounds were appearing on their bodies. Normally quiet and docile horses were violently spooking and throwing their riders. People and horses were getting hurt. Then the boarders were complaining about their stuff being moved or disappearing as well. They also were seeing darting shadows in the barn and woods surrounding the farm and heard voices and music playing in the halls. My husband and I had all these experiences too. We reached out to mediums, priests, and ordained ministers who repeatedly blessed and exorcised our home and stable, but nothing helped. My daughter and I started seeing shadow figures watching us in the doorways of our bedrooms, and we all saw the shadow figures in the barn as well. We were getting strange scratches and bruises on our bodies and suffering with horrible headaches and fatigue. We had our home checked for mold, pests like mice and bats, and had electrical and plumbing checked as well. We replaced a lot when we renovated it, so it was all pretty new. We would hear banging, scratching, and stomping all hours of the day and night. Our lights and TVs would turn on and off on their own. Our guinea pigs were dying for no apparent reason. 6 young, healthy piggies died in the first 6 months we lived there. We fostered for a guinea pig rescue but stopped doing it because we were told by a medium that they were being scared to death by the entity that was there. Our dogs were also getting strange sores that wouldn't heal. I was having reoccurring nightmares that I was being smothered by a black mass. My daughter was having similar dreams and waking up to the sounds of popping and scratching on her walls. She would scream for me and I did not hear it. She would call my phone and it didn't ring. My daughter would see a dead girl looking over her in her room when she would try to sleep. She started sleeping with her lights on and a sleeping mask so she couldn't see anything. We were all at our wits' end. We closed our stable and only had our horses on the property after a boarder's horse had their horse's spine shattered and another horse broke its leg. We knew something really bad was going on and we just couldn't risk anyone else's horses getting hurt. At this point, we were desperate, so we reached out to a very reputable paranormal program called the Dead Files. It's basically a psychic medium and a retired police detective come to your home and research to try to see if your home can be fixed or if you just need to get out. Unfortunately, the news wasn't good. We had a shadow figure on the property that was actively feeding on me and trying to kill me, and it was also watching my daughter. The property had a history of mental illness, suicide, and financial issues. The land is sacred and never should have been built on, and the land itself was also drawing energy from me specifically. We were told that if we did not leave, it would kill me and move on to my child next, and then most likely to my husband. The property also has a vortex on it that's making us all sick. So we decided to move. We ended up selling the property to a couple that does not believe in the paranormal. The last day we were cleaning out the barn, I was blowing the aisles with a leaf blower. We have 2 sets of lights in the main barn. One set turns on the front lights and the other turns on the back half lights. When I was at the back half of the barn, the back lights all turned off on me. My husband was in the upper barn near the road and nobody else was there. I was like, "Okay, stop fucking with me." I walked back to the light switches and they were turned off. I was more annoyed than scared at that point. I was so tired of being scared all the time, and I knew that after that day it was all going to be over. I could also see the drapes being pulled back from the windows in the house like someone was peeking out. Almost every time I looked at it, I knew that thing was watching me. That was on October 24th. We closed on both houses the next day. I really hope it all works out for them, but let's just say I don't think anyone can ever live there in peace. Nobody ever has. It was a tremendous loss both financially and emotionally. We lost many friends and a horse due to an injury the veterinarian that x-rayed can't explain. I'm grateful we got out and survived this experience. I will never make fun of paranormal investigators again or people living in these haunted locations. I understand all too well how a dream home can become a total nightmare. These are the last pictures I took of the house the last night we were there and we were taking the last load of our stuff. We will never go back. We can't even drive by the property anymore. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. And if you would like to help support the channel, I would recommend checking out the Patron link in the description, or you can become a channel member by clicking the join button. Both of those options give you some exclusive content and some really cool perks, so I would look into it if I were you and you're looking for more content. Okay, so this story, like I said, was submitted from someone I've actually known a very long time. I met her because she messaged me back when I first started getting into stories. And she was telling me how much she loved guinea pigs and how all of her guinea pigs kept dying because of the spirit, so she couldn't even get any more. So she mailed me all of her old guinea pig stuff. That was how we first came in contact. And then she submitted a story, and we've talked over the years throughout this all. I've seen pictures of her updating on her private Facebook. I asked for some pictures that we could share. So all these pictures you've been seeing are actually photos of the farm, the animals, everything she included for us. The Dead Files episode that it was on was season 11 and it was titled Absorbed. Don't know if you're able to dig that up, but if you wanted to get a little more info, feel free to check it out. Fortunately, they don't live there anymore, so the address getting leaked is not a big deal. Seriously, on the last video on Urmaker, I had to go through and actually type in banned words. I had to put her address in there, so that way people would stop commenting the damn address. So there is a lot of documentation about this house. Carole, once again, I really do appreciate you sharing your stories, and I'm so glad you guys got in your new place, and it looks amazing. That hot tub in the house is fucking amazing. I'm so jealous, god damn it. But I'm so happy you guys are out and safe. Happy late birthday to your daughter too, by the way. I did see that. What, 16? Happy 16th birthday. I appreciate everyone listening to this video, and I will catch you in the next one. And just remember to watch your back, because you never know who or what is watching you. Bad bye.